Okay, I got a question um, asking me what are the differences between Eastern Orthodox, Antiochian Orthodox, my church, and the Roman Catholic Church. And this is too many things to say, so I will break this up into different videos. I was thinking about doing only the outward differences, what you'd see happen to be differences, but I'm going to add other stuff to other just actual concepts because I feel that that's what the person was asking me. That's more important. Just not what do you do that's different. I don't think that's a very good answer for them. That's kind of sidestepping the question. But I will include the corporeal differences too. Okay, number one, saints. Well, how do saints become saints in the Roman Catholic Church? Well, people have to claim there's miracles happening by them, and then there's there's goes up the chain of command, and people start, movements, lobbying to make this person a saint, and then the Pope and his bishops get together and vote on whether the person's a saint or not. Really, Catholic Church? Come on, you know this is how it's done. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, somebody paints an icon of somebody. Sometimes it's even before they're living. After they die, they put a halo around their head. This person was righteous. Maybe some miracles were attributed, and people just start praying to him. And it grows naturally from there. And once somebody's a saint in one church recognized, and it's a very organic way of someone becoming a saint. It's not, unless they had heresies, then a bishop or something will step in and say, nope. Or you'll hold back, like with Augustine. He's called blessed just because I believe John Chrysostom called him blessed. And his mother is a saint, but there were so many heresies in the West that led to him, led to a lot of grew out of St. Augustine's writings that we just don't call him a saint. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, it's very organic. Somebody becomes a saint, and that's basically it. Once somebody's a saint in one church, like let's say in the Antiochian Church, somebody becomes a saint, immediately the Russians, the Greeks, the Serbians, all of them will automate. All saints, connect. Somebody becomes a saint in the Russian Church, they're immediately accepted. That's why you'll hear, one of our bishops in the Antiochian Church here in America is named Bishop Demetrius, or Dimitri, I think. And then there's Vladimir, and these Russian names. Why, and then some of the Russians will have Greek or Arab names. So it's very, very entwined, very organic. Of course, you'll notice we have no Pope, and we have the ecumenical patriarch, but he's just another patriarch. He's not greater than any of the patriarchs. You can't tell him what to do. He was kind of the default guy since Rome. Rome was the head, and it goes in order of who's the head. It's Rome, Constantinople, Alexandria, Antioch, Jerusalem, or it could be Antioch, Alexandria, Jerusalem instead of Alexandria, Antioch, Jerusalem. But the Pope was just first among equals. He wasn't. He was like the Supreme Justice. He was like, the Supreme Justice of the Supreme Court. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. He doesn't have any. He has power like that, but there's no He's not. Nobody looks to him for the. Oh, this is the great. No, that doesn't happen. And in the Catholic Church, things come from the top down. Pope says something, gives bishops to the people. No, in Orthodoxy, it's only following what has been given to you from past, and the bishops with the people bringing the priests. So the bishop needs the people need the bishops. There's no straggling bishops, and it's only priest and bishop are only in office. So we know in the Orthodox Church everyone is a priest, but the clerical duty of the priest is to preferably a married man, and you'll notice our priests are married. There are some that aren't. They're called archimandrites. They usually work in monasteries. For community parishes, usually it's preferred that the man is married. And well, in Orthodoxy there's many paths. When you're inside Orthodoxy, this is also a cosmetic thing, especially if you go to liturgy. You'll see some people, when they go in, they'll kiss the icon, they'll go in the back, light candle to Mary, cross themselves. Some people come in, do that, and then the priest will be doing his thing with the walking around. People going up to the iconostasis, praying a lot of times before the icon of Mary on the iconostasis, sometimes in front of John the Baptist. There's different feasts. Some people go to other icons. So it's very hectic chaos, a beautiful chaos, actually. Sorry, cigarette went out. We have no original sin. There's no concept of original sin. This is a mistranslation by Jerome in the Latin Vulgate, led to the idea of original sin in the West. So we don't have the idea of sex or sin is almost like a sexually transmitted diseases in some of the medieval minds, and even today this kind of persists. Which, since there's no original sin, there's no immaculate conception, and there is no ascension of Mary. We have the Dormition when she died. She was a person and she died. And that's fine. Some people believe she was carried off to heaven. That's one of the myths in our church. I don't mean myth like it's a bad thing. I just mean one of the things, the stories. So that's okay, and we celebrate that, and we fast for the Dormition. I'll get a little bit in the outward signs. You might see that we cross ourselves differently. We go like this instead of, this. It's going to be backwards anyway, so there's no point in me showing it. But yeah, many Orthodox children look on TV and why is the Pope crossing himself backwards? Because we do opposite of the West. In our liturgy, Mary is mentioned a lot more, and she's never called Mary. She's always called the Theotokos. Sometimes her name's mentioned. And our service didn't get... The Roman Catholics constantly changed their service, especially after Vatican II. They changed, and they really reduced it down to almost nothing. Where in the Orthodox Church, if you were to go back 1,000 years ago, you'd the same service, same words, same type of chanting. So it's a tradition that's really passed down. I mean, it's something very powerful when Sunday morning you go there and you're praying the same exact prayers they're doing all over the world. And it really gives solidarity and union. You really feel a great respect for that, and you're saying the exact same prayers that our spiritual ancestors said. So it's a great thing to partake in. Another corporal sign you'll see is that we drink holy water. Which the first time I went, drinking holy water? What? But yeah, the water's blessed. You can do whatever you want with it. I think in the Roman Catholic Church you still could, but people have a very strange view of it. They put it on their heads and stuff, and it kind of doesn't really make too much sense. Infants are baptized, and when they're baptized, they immediately take communion. It's kind of a strange idea in the West where you would be baptized, and then years later you'd make your first confession and communion, and then you're confirmed in the church. Well, why are you... You're confirmed in the church after you're baptized and you take communion? What? Aren't you already fully part of the church? How do you take communion or baptize and then walk away? Oh, but they're not. It's not really apostasy because they didn't... It's a very strange thing. So baptism, everything happens at baptism all at once. There's no more hoops to jump through. You're in. The iconostasis, it's reminiscent of the temple of Jerusalem, where there's a holy and a holy of holies, and that's where the altar is. It's where the priest does the sanctification, and and the congregation separate from that, and then you have the narthex, and then you have the outside of the church. So it's a very sacred place. In most Orthodox churches, correct ways, they don't have any chairs. You'll just see rugs. There's a lot of bowing too. That leaked in from the Russian church, and I'm happy that it did, the Matanias. So, and especially the Good Friday, around Good Friday, they think that that's where Prophet Muhammad got his version of prayer, because when you see the Good Friday service and you look at the Muslim, actually not, I say Good Friday because it's a Western term, the reading of the 12 Gospels. If you look at that service and you look at the way Muslims pray, it's almost identical. Being excommunicated, currently I'm excommunicated. Now, I know that sounds shocking, but if you go a while without taking communion, it's automatic. I mean, you can get automatically excommunicated for pretty much anything, but it's not anathema. Anathema is you're kicked out, you're cut out. In the West, excommunication and anathema are seen as the same thing. In our church, excommunication just means you have to go to confession before you take communion. So it's very easy to be excommunicated. I don't want to say it's not a big deal, but it's not anathema. Anathema is the cursing. Also, another corporeal thing is that you'll notice that we mix the bread and the wine together and drink it. It's mushed up. But surprisingly, it doesn't taste all that bad. But these are more the corporeal things, the actions that we do. And just want to let you in on those so I can proceed next time with the major theological differences. This is just an introduction to the answer to your question. Please don't think this is me copping out or anything. I promise you more in-depth videos to come. I just wanted to cover these to get them out of the way. And that's just a few ways of how Orthodoxy is different from Roman Catholicism. Next time we'll be getting into the really good stuff, alright? Peace.